He says she's too heavy in the middle.
She just got like a little bit of a pooch.
She says he's too light in the wallet.
She goes, you don't have enough money. I don't want to marry a loser.
So he dated a slim, trim model.
She had a flat tummy.
Flat other stuff.
And he showed her romance on a budget.
He didn't come quite prepared to pay.
That's because he's cheap.
After her blind date lays it on thick.
I would love to go out with her again. In fact, I'm planning on it.
Will they have a change of heart?
I'm Chris Jagger. Welcome to Change of Heart. This is the show where couples who've reached a crossroads in their relationship voluntarily go on one blind date with someone new. So let's meet today's couple. They met 5 months ago. He had a big crush on her, but she wasn't really sure if she liked him. So one night they went out with a group of friends. He took her home and they ended up dancing alone with her in the apartment. Well, it turned out that she liked him a lot. So please welcome Claude Stewart and Rebecca Clark. Now, you guys are on the show because you're dancing to different tunes. That's actually what's happening here. But Claude, though, what was the big moment 5 months ago?
5 months ago, the thing that got me probably was, gotta go with the sex, Chris. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of chemistry. We have a lot of, physical compatibility. And, I mean, look, she's hot. Can I get an amen for the hot? I mean, she's like, she's hotter than 2 jackrabbits in a wool sock on the edge of the equator in Zimbabwe during a volcanic eruption on the 4th of July. Hot!
Okay. Rebecca, what makes Claude, besides that little thing there, what makes Claude so special?
Well, I'd like to go with the hair. I call it, he's got the funny hair. Mm-hmm. He has this hair that sticks up. He's very cute. He's cute. I thought he was kind of had a little innocence about him.
Claude, you obviously make Rebecca happy in the romance department. What about other areas in your relationship?
Every other area, I feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I'm constantly trying to please her. And she's very high maintenance. She's quite demanding. She used to date these older men that have a lot of money and they treat her like a queen. Well, and I always take you out to dinner.
Yeah,
she doesn't like to take me.
7-Eleven.
A couple of burritos and a Slurpee, you're good to go.
What's wrong with a Slurpee and some chips, baby?
His favorite meal is a box and a freezer.
Oh, but she's used to these older guys taking care of her and all this money. And I'm talking to her one time and she goes, "You don't have enough money. I don't want to marry a loser."
Well, you can understand why she'd have some ambitions. Now, Rebecca, what about Claude? What about Claude? Something that you'd like to change about him?
Well, he's very boyish, and I feel as though I have to mold him.
Yeah, tell me a little molding theory about men.
See, the thing is, you have to catch a guy between the ages of 22 and 28 because they're right after college. They don't really know what's going on, and you have to, you mold them into your man. But I'll tell you what, I'm not doing a good job because
he's just not molding.
No, he's not molding at all.
She just demands too much.
I do. You know what?
She interrupts too much too. It's me. I love me.
Well, let me interrupt because Claude, I want to ask you about Rebecca physically. What would you like to change about her?
I would just say 2 things. One, she's got really crusty kind of elephant feet. And 2,
but you know what? He's got hair coming out of his ears.
No, but she got these feet. She wants me to rub lotion on her feet, and it's this crusty elephant. I feel like a DJ.
But I don't mind when
There's 2 things. What's the other one? Wait, let me hear the other one.
No, but the other thing is she just got a little bit of a pooch. Just a little bit, just a little bit. But the thing is,
I have a little extra here because I have to make up for what's not there.
Okay. Now, Rebecca, he doesn't have any problem at all criticizing you. Does he handle criticism just as well?
No, he's a baby. He acts like a child. He comes back at me, he picks on me. I try to help him out with his career and I want to see him do well, and then, he throws a temper tantrum. And
you're always cool and collected and take criticism very well.
All right, Claude, it sounds like you're both trying to help each other. Is it 50-50, the relationship?
Hell no. I got 25% at the most. I got 25% at the most. Seriously, because she's very demanding. It's always can you give me some cigarettes? And I don't even like her smoking, but I'll pick up the cigarette. Can you give me some coffee? There's no cream in the coffee. Give me some cream. Give me this. Can I get a mute button? That's what I like.
What are you, like the servant?
I'm like,
she treats her like the servant. Yeah, the gopher.
Talking. I need a little sophistication here.
Now, Rebecca, what about when you're arguing? How does he react?
He gives me movie quotes. Everything is a movie quote. He does Chris Rock impressions, Bill Clinton.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I never feel like I can really have a conversation with someone. I want to go over and and talk, and I want to talk to an adult. I don't want to talk to
Yeah. Some impressionist.
Woody Woodpecker,
Now, Rebecca, how do you think the show? How do you think this show is going to help your relationship?
Well, I think it's important to find out whether or not we're better as a couple, or maybe we're better as friends.
So that's what couples find out sometimes when they come on the show. Oh, it seems that Claude and Rebecca need some work on their relationship, and he could use a little work on his impressions. Now, when we come back, we're going to meet the people that they dated, and we'll find out if they're going to stay together or have a change of heart. So stay here. All right, welcome back. We're here with Claude and Rebecca. Claude says Rebecca's so high maintenance she expects him to wait on her hand and foot, and he claims that her tummy makes for a really nice pillow. So we matched him up with a sexy beauty who pampers her man and has never sported a puffy tummy. Please welcome Liz Oakes. Hi, Liz.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey, Claude.
How you doing? And Rebecca, let me ask you, what do you think of Liz's tummy?
It doesn't look like she has much of a body, actually.
Well, Rebecca, did Claude give you any idea what she looked like before they met?
He didn't have to give me an idea because he had her picture in his book bag. And let me add, book bag, okay?
All right, so he showed you then.
So, no, he didn't show me. I found it, and
You were
no,
looking
wait a
through
minute.
it.
You asked to see it. She asked if I had a
Like
picture, so there was 3
bathing
different ones
suit
on there.
shots or
And I showed it
something.
to her, and there was like bathing suit and stuff, and she was looking at it. She goes, "You're not getting this back. I'm throwing it away. I'm pissed."
All right, Liz,
Sorry,
what
I
about
have another one I could give you.
Liz?
Oh, you do? Okay, that's...
What about you, though? Initially, were you a little concerned about meeting Claude?
Well, actually, we talked on the phone a few times, and we're both from the South. We're both from Texas, so I wasn't too worried about it. He sounded like a nice Texas guy.
People are hospitable there. They're usually really sweet. So.
Was he dressed like a cowpoke or anything? Or?
Not at all. No, we were going to go bowling, so he dressed pretty casually, dressed in khakis and a nice J. Crew shirt.
How many times have you been telling me we were going to go bowling?
Once.
Yeah, and we haven't gone.
And you never went, but these guys went. And Claude, her bowling attire, what was that like?
Oh, it was pretty nice. She wore like a really tight black top, and tight jeans, and she had a flat tummy. And yeah, it was really nice.
And you like that?
Yeah.
Flat other stuff.
Was it immature, McConnell?
Claude, earlier you commented about Rebecca's feet. Did you happen to notice while she was putting on her bowling shoes?
Yeah, they were very
smooth.
There was no elephant sign, no crusty, and I guess I could have rubbed some lotion on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Claude, is there a lot of bowling that goes on in Texas when you were
Well,
growing
I
up?
didn't think it was a huge deal, but apparently where she comes from, it is. It's like an Olympic event because she doesn't like to lose.
I don't.
So very competitive.
Very competitive, but actually I wasn't really into who was winning. I was kind of checking out her caboose every time she was bowling. So.
There are some advantages to
Gotta be
bowling.
honest, I guess.
So how about afterwards, Liz? A Texas barbecue for dinner or what?
No, actually, we went to get some Italian food, but first I had to go home to change because we're going to go out to a club, and I was wearing jeans, and you should, Hollywood jeans, black.
And Claude, you entertained yourself while she was changing, or what did you do?
Yeah, actually, she gave me this modeling portfolio book of hers, and it was really nice. She had like a lot of different looks. There was one bikini thing that was beautiful.
Yeah.
There was like, any shot looked good, whether she was like a little schoolgirl or whether she was a model or a crack hoe. I mean, she really pulled it off. Every shot was good.
You would
Well, that's complimentary.
Just about anything, wouldn't you?
So, Claude, what about dinner? Was that fun?
Dinner was nice. We had a good time. We had like a lot of conversation.
Which I never get. Thank you.
I can't imagine, but go ahead.
Right. Do you have a muzzle, Chris? Basically, but it was nice because we talked about a lot of different things. She had like a really nice skirt, it was wrapped around, and you could see the caboose again. And we had like a lot of we had some wine, and the wine was a little more expensive than I expected, but it was a nice dinner.
That's because he's cheap.
Oh, okay.
Anything other than like Boone's or something.
It's a Texas thing.
Mad Dog 2020.
Liz, you said Texas guys are well-mannered. What about Claude?
Well, he was very well mannered, but I have to say I was a little surprised when the check came because he didn't come quite prepared to pay.
Oops.
So I had to pick that one up.
Well, the thing is, it was an Italian restaurant, and no one really spoke much English, and there was no prices on the wine. Just like, Senor, no, and I couldn't understand him, and it was $75 bottle of wine.
I see.
Well, I had no problem getting that check.
She was okay. Well, Claude, you said Rebecca's high maintenance since Liz was willing to kick in. Does that make her low maintenance, or?
Well, she definitely definitely handled it better, I think, because she just kind of dropped it. She let it happen. It didn't make a big deal. I think Rebecca I would have still heard about it. You're cheap. It's unacceptable. You're young. You're immature, and you suck. So that's what I would have gotten, I think.
Yeah,
So, Claude, what about Liz? The conversation. What kind of things did she talk about with you?
We talked about a
Movie
vast array of subjects, but we definitely talked about sex came up actually.
One of your favorites.
On your first date, you talked about sex.
Well, no, she asked me, is it true that guys think about sex every 90 seconds?
Did you notice all his ear hair?
Didn't notice that.
Liz,
You have
what
to
was
take
it?
a Q-tip and,
Liz, what was the answer to that question from Claude?
She has some
Well,
clippers.
Claude, I don't think he does think about sex that often. I don't think any guy does actually, but he had a very ease of conversation.
I
with
don't
him,
think so. This was my theory. Guys don't think about sex that often because if I did, I wouldn't actually do it. You know what I mean? She'd be like, "You want to have sex?" No.
Well,
still
Claude,
think
what's
about
your
it.
opinion on women? Do you think the women also think about it that frequently?
I didn't think they did, but one thing Liz said to me is she said, "Well, sometimes women will be thinking about it and guys will have no clue that they are." And then she kind of smiled at me and took a drink, and I was like, "Giddy up."
Did Liz do anything that was disappointing for you on the date?
Everything was going well. I think we went to see this comedy music show, and at the end of it, she went over to talk to a friend of hers. And I didn't really know where she went, and she was gone for about 10 minutes.
comedy. He probably,
He was critiquing it the whole time. Yeah.
Exactly. Movie quotes. I could do it funnier than that guy.
So she disappears on you for about 10 minutes.
Before that 10 minutes, I didn't know where she was going. I was just kind of stuck there by myself.
Claude, did the two of you do any kind of Texas romantic two-step thing?
No, we didn't boot kick or anything, but we did. We walked back to her. I walked her to her door at the end of the date, and she invited me in, and we go inside, and her roommate was asleep on the couch. So we go back outside and took a little walk, and just had like a nice romantic sweet kiss. Good night.
So it ended very nicely.
Yeah, it ended on a good night.
Okay, were Liz's bowling moves, sexy top, and goodnight kiss enough to give Claude a change of heart? We're going to find that out later. Next, though, we're going to meet the man Rebecca dated and hear all about her date, so stay with us. Just heard what happened on Claude's date with Liz, and now we're going to meet the man that Rebecca dated. Rebecca says that Claude acts like a child more than a man, and he annoys her constantly by quoting lines from movies. So we matched her up with a writer who never plagiarizes, acts like a manly man, and has never ever been called stubborn. Please welcome Josh Musselman. Hey, Josh.
How you doing, sir?
Good to see you. Claude, does Josh look man enough for Rebecca?
Well, she said he's a man's man. What, he's gay?
I don't think that's what we meant.
That, honey.
Rebecca, what kind of mood were you in when Josh finally arrived for your date?
Well, I was actually kind of in a bad mood because he was an hour late, and it's very typical of Claude to be late. And,
So you thought, here we go again.
So I was like, here we go again, exactly.
I drove 200 miles to get to the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was coming from.
So when did you first see him then, Rebecca?
Well, I came out, and I was out on my balcony, and I looked down at him, and I was kind of like, oh, this guy's like a dweeb, I think. I don't know. I mean, it was,
Oops.
the distance, so.
And Josh, when you saw Rebecca on the balcony, what'd you think?
Well, it was the shadowing of the light, so I thought she looked like Monica Lewinsky at first. So I was about to turn around and leave. But I waited for her to come down.
Mm-hmm. So, Rebecca, then did the mood change once he came upstairs?
We came upstairs, and the first thing he said to me was that I looked beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So
That helps soften things a little bit, I would guess.
So right away, I was, it calmed me down. I was much more interested and ready.
I have a big crush on Gina Gershon, so when she walked in, I thought, oh my God, she looks just like Gina Gershon. She was really, really good looking. In fact, I couldn't stop looking at her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Kiss up a little more.
And Rebecca, does Claude compliment you like that?
Exactly. You should kiss up a little more. I'm sorry.
Do you get compliments like that from Claude?
Yeah, I mean, he says I look cute or whatever, but I mean, he said that I looked beautiful.
I've told you look beautiful
He's
before. I
very-
do. I tell you you're the sexiest woman I've ever dated, and I tell you you're
I mean,
beautiful.
right away when our eyes met, he just had this sexiness about him.
So up close, that dweeby thing all the
I'm
way.
glad I stayed. Let me put it that way. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
really-
Now, Josh, when you met Rebecca, did you bring her something for the date?
Well, what I wanted to do is do things that I'm good at. And one of the things we could do on a first date right away is have some beers and throw darts. So I showed her my darts, and I have really nice darts. And
You showed her
my darts.
I can hold her from behind and teach her how to throw. And that's really nice, honey. Good job.
Oh, that's different. And did she care, though, or was she interested?
I don't think she wanted to play darts, if you know what I mean. She had other, but...
Well, Rebecca, would you say that darts is more of a manly game, or?
Well, you know, he pulled out these darts, and I was a little thrown off. I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't like stab me with them. But then I thought to myself, you know, this guy is ready to do something. He's planned something out. He wants to show me something.
I wanted to be different.
He wanted to show me something he's good at, you know, which is always very sexy.
Now,
so.
Rebecca, let's talk about the differences. You said Claude is sort of childish. How is Josh?
I thought Josh was very sophisticated, and the only thing that kind of threw me off was when we drove to the restaurant. We parked the car on the sidewalk, and I got out, and I said, "Well, this is a red zone." And then he drove off, and I was standing there on the corner, and
He left you.
He left me.
I had to valet the car, okay? It costs $3 to valet a car. Now, my car's not worth $3. It's not worth $5.
Yeah, you just leave her standing on the corner.
I did, and I made a mistake, and I felt bad about it, so I was trying to make it up to her.
All right, so at dinner then, Rebecca, do things turn around here and get a little better?
Things definitely turned around at dinner because he ordered all the drinks and the food, and he paid for the meal, and I didn't.
Which I do all the time.
I didn't have to worry about anything, and we had great conversation, and we had a lot to talk about.
And Josh, did you share this opinion that things were then getting better?
Absolutely. We started talking about things that were more personal. We started talking about sex, and she implied that she had a get out of free card for the night, get out of jail free.
Get out of jail free. Right.
So I was like, so I was thinking this might be nice.
And Claude, what do you think she means by the get out of jail free card?
I think she's just playing a jealous game, to be honest with you. I think basically what she means is...
you would think of a game as a child that you are.
All right, well, let's go back to the game then of darts. Josh, did you get to show how good you were?
Well, we didn't play any darts, but I was basically just like throwing around a lot of compliments, and I asked her if I could give her a kiss in a very subtle, seductive way, and she was like picking up on that, and she gave me a kiss, and then shortly afterwards she gave me another kiss, and I wasn't expecting that, so I think the first kiss worked.
So, Claude, how about a movie quote to describe the way you're feeling right now?
Mother of God, this sucks.
Yeah, that's right. That was right.
Okay, so Josh, things continue to go well after that?
I think so. I think things got pretty hot and heavy. We started to take off like a slow train, and then by this time of the date, we were like a Lear jet. I mean, there was a lot of sexual tension, and we were like in a pressure cooker.
Now, Rebecca, you agreeing with all these comments?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I couldn't stop looking in his eyes, and there was a lot of sexual tension going on, and when he
under the table, we were touching each other a lot with our legs and hips.
When he drove me home, we were in the car, and he wanted to give me a kiss, and I'm like, sure, and he gave me a kiss, and got me so excited that I was like, I think it's best that you go home now.
All right, so Josh,
it's one of the few things I'm good at, you know what I mean? So.
Good to hear. Josh, your summation of the date then?
I would love to go out with her again. In fact, I'm planning on it. And I would like very much that she stays with me. I mean, I'd like to go out with her again.
All right, well, that will be her choice. We'll see what happens here. Will Claude and Rebecca stay together or have a change of heart? During the break, they got to make that decision. We'll find out what they decided when we come back, so stay here. The moment of truth, because during the break, Claude and Rebecca each made a final decision about the future of their relationship, and there's no turning back now. Will they stay together, or have they had a change of heart? You guys came on the show to find out if you're better off with partners or just friends. So, Claude, we're going to start with you. You get to go first. You said you wanted to date somebody that didn't need to be pampered all the time, somebody with maybe a little nicer body, and somebody who wasn't going to make you their gopher. That was the complaints you had. You went out with Liz. You share that Texan heritage together. You guys went bowling, seemed to have a good time there. You didn't pay for dinner, and she didn't seem to have a problem coming up with the check. You saw some sexy photos in her portfolio, had a good time, but it is your decision. What do you say, Claude?
I did have a wonderful time, and although I do think that Rebecca does criticize me for being unorganized, late, and being pretty much a child, I think that she keeps me in line, and I think I need a little bit of that, and I've changed for the better thus far, and I am crazy about her, so I think I'm going to stay together.
Stay together, he says. Okay, Liz, sorry things didn't work out for you. Now, Rebecca, it's your decision. You said you wanted to date somebody more of a man and not so childish. somebody that was going to always be throwing movie quotes at you when you're trying to have a discussion. So Josh was your date. You guys had sort of a slow start, but things started to build. The compliments came. The sexual tension started to go on there. You did have a nice big goodnight kiss that made you a little crazy. Claude, though, says he wants to stay together. What do you say?
Well, you know what, Chris? I'd probably be out of my mind if I, was with a crazy jackass like Claude, but I'm crazy about him, so I'm gonna stay together.
Oh, really? Stay together, she says. Wow. Josh, sorry it didn't work out for you. The audience is a little surprised, but I guess you guys have learned by coming on the show you're actually meant to be together, and hopefully you guys can work things out and have a really good time. So good luck. That is our show for today. Thanks to Liz and Josh. Good luck to Claude and Rebecca. We'll see you next time here on Change of Heart.